Have you ever felt like your mind is a never-ending storm of thoughts, worries, and responsibilities? Like no matter how hard you try to organize or control everything, it just keeps slipping through your fingers. You're not alone. This is the reality for so many of us in today's fast-paced, high-pressure world. But what if I told you there's a way out? A way to let go of the mental burdens that weigh you down and find the clarity and peace you've been searching for. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let me share a story to bring this to life. Meet Sarah. She's a busy mom of two, juggling a demanding job, endless to-do lists, and the constant pressure to be perfect. Every day felt like a race she could never, wine mails piling up, deadlines looming, and her kids needing her attention. The more she tried to control everything, the more overwhelmed she became. One day, after missing an important meeting because she forgot to set an alarm, Sarah broke down. She felt like a failure. On a friend's advice, she decided to take a step back. She started small, taking 5 minutes each morning to sit in silence, breathe, and reflect. At first, it felt pointless. But over time, she noticed something remarkable. Her mind started to feel lighter. She stopped obsessing over things she couldn't control and focused on what truly mattered: her health, her family, and her own peace of mind. This is the power of letting go. In this video, I'm going to share 10 practical and proven ways to help you free your mind, inspired by timeless Stoic teachings and modern psychology. These aren't abstract ideas or theories, these are actionable steps you can start applying today to create space for clarity and calm in your life. For example, have you ever heard the phrase, "You can't pour from an empty cup"? One of the strategies we'll explore is learning to say no to things that drain your energy and yes to things that nourish your soul. It's not about being selfish, it's about creating balance, so you can show up as your best self for the things and people that truly matter. Or take the Stoic practice of negative visualization. Instead of fearing the worst, imagine what it would look like if your fears came true. It might sound counterintuitive, but this technique helps you realize that even your worst-case scenarios are manageable and often not as bad as they seem. So, if you're tired of carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, this is your moment. Let go of the need to control everything and discover what happens when you make space for peace, clarity, and joy. Welcome to Stoic Echoes US, your guide to living a more intentional and fulfilling life. Let's begin this journey together. Number 1. Let go to move forward. Have you ever noticed how life feels harder the more you try to control it? Like holding a handful of sand, the tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. That's the paradox of control. It feels like the answer, but in reality, it's the problem. Think about it. How many times have you tried to plan everything perfectly, only to find yourself overwhelmed and frustrated when things don't go as expected? Clinging to control is like driving with the handbrake on. Your burning energy, but going nowhere. Now, imagine what happens when you release that brake. Suddenly, everything moves forward with ease. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the process, accepting what you can't change, and focusing on what truly matters. Let me share a story. Meet Jason, a young professional who prided himself on being in control. His calendar was packed, his goals meticulously planned, and he believed that if he worked hard enough, everything would fall into place. But life had other plans. One day, on his way to an important meeting, his car broke down in the middle of rush hour traffic. Furious, He called a tow truck and spent the next hour obsessing over how this would ruin his day. But as he sat there, waiting, something shifted. He noticed the sky bright and blue, a rare sight in his busy city. He watched people walking by, some smiling, some rushing, all living their lives. For the first time in weeks, he let go of the frustration and just sat there, breathing. By the time the tow truck arrived, Jason realized something profound. The world didn't end because his plans fell apart. In fact, that unexpected pause gave him a sense of clarity he hadn't felt in years. This is the essence of letting go. It's not about giving up on your goals or ignoring challenges. It's about recognizing that some things are beyond your control and choosing how you respond to them. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, said it best: "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." His words remind us that life isn't about forcing every moment to fit our expectations, but about embracing the journey, imperfections and all. So, how can you start letting go today? Begin with small, intentional steps. Write down your worries, yes. Physically write them on paper. Acknowledge what you're trying to control, then crumple the paper and throw it away. It's a symbolic act, but it tells your mind, this doesn't control me anymore. Next, practice the red light pause. When things don't go as planned, take a deep breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. This simple act can shift your focus from panic to peace. Finally, make space in your day for nothing. Just 15 minutes. No phone, no tasks, just you and the moment. It's in these quiet spaces that clarity and creativity thrive. Now, let me ask you, how much energy are you wasting trying to control the uncontrollable? What if, just for today, you chose to let go of one small thing? Life doesn't fall apart when you let go, it finds its rhythm. The sand doesn't vanish when you release it, it settles naturally. Trust the process, and you'll find that the things you truly desire, peace, clarity, and joy, start to come to you effortlessly. So, take a breath, let go, and watch what happens when you stop holding on so tightly. Number 2, start your day right. Have you ever noticed how some days feel effortless, as if everything aligns perfectly, while others seem like an uphill battle from the moment you wake up? It's not luck or coincidence, it all comes down to how you begin your morning. The first moments of your day are like tuning an instrument before a performance. If you skip the tuning, the music will be off, chaotic, and far from harmonious. But when you take the time to prepare, every note resonates beautifully, setting the tone for a seamless day ahead. So, let me ask you, how are you tuning your mornings? Are you rushing into the chaos, or are you taking a moment to create the harmony you need? Let me share a story that changed how I approached my mornings. Like most people, I used to wake up and immediately reach for my phone, scrolling through notifications and emails before I even got out of bed. But one day, I decided to try something different. Instead of diving into the noise, I sat quietly for a few minutes, took a deep breath, and visualized how I wanted my day to unfold. Then, I put on my favorite song, one of those tracks that makes you smile, no matter what, and let myself dance around the kitchen as I brewed my coffee. At first, it felt silly, but something incredible happened. That small burst of joy and energy carried me through the day. Even the usual annoyances like traffic or a snippy email barely fazed me. It was as if I had set the tone for positivity and resilience, and the rest of my day simply followed suit. This idea isn't new. Even the Stoic philosopher Seneca understood the power of mornings. He believed that each day is a gift of fresh start and used his mornings to reflect, write, and align his mind with his values. He didn't let the world dictate his mood. Instead, he prepared himself to face it with clarity and intention. And you can do the same. The beauty of mornings is that they're yours to shape. They're a chance to pause, focus, and decide how you want your day to unfold. So, how can you start your mornings on the right note? Begin with something simple. Before you even touch your phone, take a moment to breathe. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold it for 2 and exhale slowly for 6. Repeat this 3 times. It's a small act, but it helps your body and mind start from a place of calm instead of chaos. Next, find something that sparks joy. For me, it's music. Maybe for you, it's a walk outside, a cup of tea, or even a quick stretch. And yes, if you're feeling bold, dance a little. It doesn't matter if no one's watching, that burst of energy can transform your mood and set the tone for the day. Finally, take a moment to set a small intention for the day. It doesn't have to be monumental. Maybe it's as simple as smiling more, being patient in traffic, or enjoying your lunch without distractions. These small, mindful actions may seem insignificant, but they create a ripple effect that shapes how you approach the rest of the day. Now, think about this. How do you want your mornings to feel? Do you want to start in chaos, letting the day control you? Or do you want to take charge, set your own rhythm, and create a day that works in your favor? You don't need a perfect routine or to wake up at 5 a.m. You just need to start with intention and purpose. Remember, every morning is a fresh opportunity, a blank slate. How you choose to use it can determine the direction of your entire day and maybe even your life. So, take a breath, make it yours, and start your day strong. Number 3, your mind, your greatest strength. Think of your mind as a puzzle. When the pieces are scattered and disorganized, it feels impossible to see the full picture. Everything seems chaotic, overwhelming, and unclear. But when you take a moment to step back, sort the pieces by color, by shape, and focus on one section at a time, something incredible happens. The picture begins to emerge, and clarity takes over. That's exactly how your mind works. When it's cluttered with stress, worries, and racing thoughts, it's hard to see solutions or feel in control. But when you give it calm, space, and intention, you unlock its potential to become your greatest ally. Let me ask you, how often do you take the time to organize the thoughts in your mind? A powerful example of this comes from the story of Chesley "Sully" Sullenberger, the pilot who famously landed a commercial airplane with over 150 passengers on the Hudson River. Imagine being in his position flying a plane when both engines suddenly fail after hitting a flock of birds. The plane is losing power, and below you is a crowded city and an icy river. For most of us, panic would take over. But Sully did something extraordinary. He closed his eyes for a split second, took a deep breath, and calmed his mind. Instead of letting fear and chaos consume him, he focused on what he could control. He visualized the steps he needed to take to land the plane safely. With alarms blaring and passengers terrified, Sully spoke in a calm, steady voice. "Brace for impact." That simple, confident message wasn't just about following protocol, it was a declaration of belief in his ability to handle the situation. And because he kept his mind clear, he achieved the impossible. He landed the plane safely on the Hudson River, saving every single life on board. Sully's story is a testament to the truth of Epictetus's words. What disturbs us is not what happens, but our thoughts about it. Sully couldn't control the bird strike or the engine failure, but he could control how he responded. His calm, focused mind turned a crisis into an opportunity for decisive action. And that's the lesson we can all take away when you calm your mind. You stop seeing problems as insurmountable and start seeing solutions. So, how can you train your mind to be your best ally? It begins with learning to organize the pieces of your mental puzzle. Start small. Spend just 5 minutes a day thinking about the worries cluttering your mind, like scattered puzzle pieces. But don't try to solve everything at once, just sort them. For example, if you're stressed about a tight work deadline, a recent argument with a friend, and financial concerns, take a moment to separate them. Put the work project in one corner. It's something you can start tackling right away. The argument with your friend, that goes in another corner, something to address later with a thoughtful message or call. And your finances, set that aside as a future piece to handle when you review your budget. By mentally categorizing your worries, you stop letting them fight for your attention all at once. You may not solve everything immediately, but you'll feel lighter, more in control, and ready to take the first step toward clarity. Now, let me ask you, what would your life look like if you gave your mind the calm and space it needs to work for you instead of against you? When your mind is clear, you open yourself up to possibilities that once seemed out of reach. You begin to see opportunities where there were once only obstacles. So, maybe it's time to stop trying to control every detail and start trusting in your ability to handle challenges as they come. Remember, your mind is your greatest strength, and when you treat it as your ally, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Take a deep breath, sort the pieces, and let your mind guide you toward the solutions you've been searching for. Number 4, calm is your superpower. Have you ever felt like rushing through life is leaving you exhausted, frustrated, and further from what you truly want? Rushing is like cooking on a hot pan with no oil. It burns everything faster, and nothing turns out the way you hoped. Let me tell you something important. Calmness isn't slowness, it's strategy. It's about doing things at the pace they need to flow smoothly and come out right. Let's think about this for a moment. You're preparing a special dinner for friends. Everything is planned, but you get home late and rush through the cooking. You chop the vegetables unevenly, spill the sauce in your hurry, and overcook the pasta because you're distracted by the oven. When you finally serve the meal, it's nothing like you envisioned, and the stress has robbed you of the joy of the moment. But now, let's think of the opposite. Give yourself time. You chop the ingredients carefully, savoring the process. You taste the sauce as it cooks, adjusting the flavors, and the pasta turns out perfectly al dente. The result? A delicious meal and a joyful experience. This isn't a coincidence. Rushing doesn't just ruin recipes, it ruins opportunities. Why do we rush? Often, it's because we feel like life is a race, comparing our pace to others, as if we need to keep up. But here's the truth. Everyone has their own rhythm. Comparing yours to someone else's is like trying to make a plant grow faster. Just by staring at it doesn't work. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, understood this well. He said, "The mind is like water. When it's calm, it reflects the world clearly." Despite the enormous responsibilities on his shoulders, he didn't tackle everything at once. He reflected, prioritized, and acted with calm. Even in the middle of crises, he approached decisions with a steady mind. It wasn't about doing things faster, it was about doing them better. I know slowing down feels impossible when everything around you moves at lightning speed. But what if I told you that calmness is the key to making things fall into place? Before you start your next task, try this. Stop for just 2 minutes. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the most important thing I can do right now? Picture yourself mentally tidying up your mind's desk, organizing your thoughts into clear steps. This small ritual will not only give you clarity, but also help you act from a more relaxed state. And when you're relaxed, things flow better. It's as if the universe aligns with you. Now, let's talk about multitasking. It might seem like juggling several things at once is the secret to success. But here's the truth. Multitasking doesn't help you get more done, it just spreads your energy thin. Instead, pick one task. When you care for it, with focus and time, it will grow strong. Once you finish, move on to the next task. You'll not only accomplish more, but also do it better. With calmness, you create space for what truly matters to take shape. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience." And he was right. Calmness doesn't just improve your results, it lets you enjoy the process. So, let me ask you, how would your life change if you stopped racing against the clock and chose to move forward calmly, savoring each step? No matter how much you have to do, when you take the time to do it well, everything starts to flow. And here's the best part. You'll feel more in control and at peace. Because when you do things with calm, you create the space for your dreams to take shape and manifest into reality. So, why not start today? Take a breath, slow down, and let calm be your superpower. Number 5, gratitude, the key to abundance. Have you ever caught yourself dwelling on what's missing in your life? It's so easy to focus on what didn't go right, what you don't have, or what still feels incomplete. But what if I told you the simplest way to invite more joy, success, and fulfillment into your life is to start appreciating what you already have? Gratitude is the secret ingredient that transforms not just your mindset, but your entire life. Let me share a story with you. There was a man who felt stuck, overwhelmed by everything that seemed to be going wrong. His job felt meaningless, his relationships lacked connection, and financial worries consumed him. One day, a friend gave him a challenge. Every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. At first, it felt pointless. How could he feel grateful when everything seemed so wrong? But he decided to try. The first night he wrote, "I have a roof over my head. I ate a good meal today, and I have a friend who cares about me." They were small, simple things, but something remarkable began to happen. As the days went on, he started noticing more reasons to be grateful, things he had overlooked before, like the warmth of the sun on his face or the kindness of a stranger. Slowly, his perspective shifted. He began to feel lighter, happier, and more hopeful. And as his mindset changed, so did his reality. His relationships became stronger, opportunities at work began to appear, and his financial worries started to ease. Why does gratitude have this transformative power? Because it shifts your focus. When you concentrate on what you already have, you move from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. This change in energy not only makes you feel good, but also attracts more positivity into your life. It's like planting seeds of joy and watching them grow. So, how can you bring more gratitude into your daily life. Start each morning with a moment of gratitude. Before you even get out of bed, think of one thing you're thankful for. Something as simple as waking up healthy, having a roof over your head, or even the comfort of your pillow. This small act sets a positive tone for the day ahead. At night, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for in a journal. They don't have to be monumental. Sometimes it's the smallest things, like a kind word or a good cup of coffee, that bring the most joy. And don't forget to express your gratitude to others. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day and deepen your connections. As Oprah Winfrey wisely said, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more." If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice, it's a way of life. That opens the door to more of what you want. So let me ask you, what are you grateful for right now? It could be as simple as having the time to read this, or the ability to reflect on your blessings. When you start appreciating the little things, you'll realize they were the big things all along. Gratitude isn't just the secret ingredient, it's the recipe for a life filled with abundance, joy, and peace. Why not start today? Take a moment, breathe deeply, and let gratitude guide you toward a better tomorrow. Number 6, letting go, a path to freedom. Letting go is one of the hardest, yet most liberating things we can do in life. We cling tightly to our plans, our expectations, and even our failures, convinced that if we just try harder or hold on longer, we can force things to work out. But have you ever stopped to wonder if holding on is what's actually keeping you stuck? Think of it like carrying a heavy bag filled with rocks. Each rock represents something. You're holding on to a mistake you regret, a grudge you've been nursing, or a goal that didn't go as planned. The longer you carry the bag, the heavier it feels, draining your energy and leaving you exhausted. But what happens when you finally put the bag down? Suddenly, you feel lighter, freer, and able to move forward. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about creating space for new opportunities, fresh ideas, and positive energy to flow into your life. Let me share a story. There was a woman who spent years holding on to resentment toward a former friend who had betrayed her. Every time she thought about it, she felt anger bubble up, replaying the situation in her mind like a broken record. One day, she realized that the friend had moved on with their life, while she was still stuck in the past, weighed down by bitterness. She decided to let go. She wrote a letter expressing all her feelings, not to send, but to release them from her heart. Then she tore it up and threw it away. In that moment, she felt a weight lift off her shoulders. By letting go of the grudge, she made room for peace and even new friendships to enter her life. So, how can you start letting go of what's weighing you down? Begin by identifying what you're holding on to. Take a moment to reflect. Is there a mistake you keep replaying in your mind? A person who hurt you? A dream that didn't go as planned? Next, ask yourself honestly, is holding on to this helping me or hurting me? If it's causing you pain, stress, or anxiety, it's time to release it. You can try a simple exercise. Write down what you're holding on to and then tear up the paper, or visualize yourself releasing it, like letting go of a balloon floating into the sky. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. or that what happened didn't matter. It means you're choosing to free yourself from the burden of the past, so you can embrace the possibilities of the present and future. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. But how can you step through a new door if you're still clinging to the old one? Letting go is about trusting that what's meant for you will find you, and that by releasing the weight of what no longer serves you, you'll find the energy to move forward. So, let me ask you, what's one thing you're holding on to right now that you know it's time to release? Take that first step today and watch how your life begins to flow in ways you never imagined. Letting go isn't the end, it's a new beginning. Number 7, embrace change, discover growth. Change is one of the most difficult things we face in life. It's uncomfortable, unpredictable, and can make us feel like we're losing control. But here's the truth. Change isn't something to fear, it's the force that helps us grow into the best version of ourselves. Think of a caterpillar living a simple life, crawling from one leaf to the next. One day, it stops, wraps itself in a cocoon, and undergoes a complete transformation. That process isn't easy, it's dark, uncertain, and isolating. Yet, when the caterpillar emerges, it's no longer the same. It becomes a butterfly, free to explore the world in ways it never could before. This is what change does for you. It challenges us, stretches us, and ultimately transforms us into something greater. Let me share a story. There was a man named David who had worked at the same company for over a decade. He loved his job, but one day the company shut down unexpectedly. At first, David was devastated. He felt lost, unsure of what to do next. But instead of letting fear consume him, he decided to take this as an opportunity to explore something new. He enrolled in a course to learn about technology, a field he had always been curious about, but never pursued. The journey wasn't easy. There were moments of self-doubt and frustration, but as time went on, David discovered a passion for coding. Within 2 years, he landed a job at a tech company, doing work he loved and never imagined himself capable of. Looking back, he realized that losing his old job was the best thing that could have happened to him. It forced him to grow in ways he never thought possible. So, how can you embrace change in your own life? Start by shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing change as something to fear, try to view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what can this teach me? Next, take small steps. Change can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to tackle it all at once. Focus on one small action at a time, and don't forget to celebrate your progress along the way. Finally, trust the process. Growth takes time, and it's okay to feel uncertain along the way. Be patient with yourself and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. As the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, "The only constant in life is change." The sooner we accept this, the easier it becomes to navigate life's twists and turns. Remember, every ending is also a beginning. What change are you facing right now? How can you use it to grow into the person you're meant to be? Embrace change, and you'll discover new paths, new strengths, and new opportunities you never thought possible. Change isn't the end, it's the beginning of something beautiful. Number 8. The beauty of patience. In a world that moves at lightning speed, patience often feels like an outdated skill. We crave instant results, whether it's success, happiness, or achieving our dreams, and when things take longer than expected, frustration creeps in. But here's the truth. The most meaningful things in life take time. Just as you can't force a flower to bloom overnight, you can't rush your personal growth or the journey toward your goals. Think of a farmer tending to their crops. They plant seeds, nurture the soil, and water the plants daily, but they don't expect to see a harvest the very next day. They trust the process, knowing that growth is happening beneath the surface, even when it's invisible. The same is true for your dreams and aspirations. Every small effort you make is like planting a seed, and with consistent care and patience, it will eventually blossom into something beautiful. Let me share a story. There was a young woman named Sarah who dreamed of running a marathon. She wasn't a natural runner, and her first attempts at jogging left her breathless within minutes. She felt discouraged, but decided to stick with it, focusing on small improvements rather than instant results. Every day, she ran a little farther, even if it was just a few extra steps. Over time, her stamina grew, and months later, she crossed the finish line of her first marathon. Looking back, she realized it wasn't just the race that mattered, it was the journey of showing up every day, even when progress felt slow. Sarah's story reminds us that patience isn't passive, it's an active choice to trust the process and keep moving forward, even when results aren't immediate. So, how can you cultivate patience in your own life? Start by focusing on the process rather than obsessing over the outcome. When you're working toward a goal, take time to enjoy the journey and recognize that each small step is progress. Practice mindfulness. When impatience arises, take a deep breath, bring your attention back to the present moment, and remind yourself that everything unfolds in its own time. Celebrate the small wins along the way, no matter how insignificant they might seem, because they are proof that you're moving forward. As the saying goes, patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Now, let me ask you, what's one area of your life where you feel impatient right now? How can you shift your perspective to trust the process and find peace in the waiting? Remember, patience isn't about doing nothing, it's about staying committed to your journey, even when results take time. Trust that everything is happening at the right time, and you'll not only achieve your goals, but also grow into the person you're meant to be along the way. Patience is more than a virtue, it's the foundation of lasting success and fulfillment. Number 9, strength through life's challenges. Life often throws challenges our way, and sometimes those obstacles can feel overwhelming, as if they're too heavy to bear. But the truth is, challenges are not here to break you, they are here to build you. Every difficulty you face is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about how a diamond comes to be. It begins as a simple piece of coal hidden deep beneath the Earth's surface. Only through immense pressure and heat over time does it transform into something precious, brilliant, and unbreakable. The same goes for you. The challenges you encounter are shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. Let me share a story. There was a young entrepreneur named Mia who dreamed of starting her own business. She poured her heart and soul into her idea, but her first attempt failed miserably. She lost money, faced criticism, and felt like giving up. But instead of letting the failure define her, Mia chose to learn from it. She studied her mistakes, sought advice, and tried again. This time, she succeeded, building a thriving business that she loved. Looking back, Mia realized that her failure was the very thing that taught her how to succeed. It gave her the resilience and knowledge she needed to grow. Her story reminds us that challenges are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones to something greater. So, how can you find strength in your own challenges? Start by reframing your mindset. Instead of seeing challenges as problems, try to view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what can this experience teach me? Next, focus on what you can control. You may not be able to change the situation, but you always have control over how you respond to it. Your attitude and actions can turn even the hardest moments into opportunities for growth. Finally, celebrate your progress. Every time you overcome a challenge, no matter how small, acknowledge your strength and resilience. These moments of triumph, however minor they seem, are proof of your ability to rise above adversity. As the saying goes, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Life's toughest moments are often the ones that shape us the most. What challenges are you facing right now? How can you shift your perspective to see them as opportunities instead of obstacles? Remember, every struggle is helping you become the person you're meant to be. Embrace the challenges, trust the process, and know that you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. Life's greatest growth comes from its greatest tests, and you have everything within you to rise to the occasion. Number 10. The power of self-compassion. In life, we often go out of our way to show kindness and understanding to others, offering them support when they stumble or face challenges. But when it comes to ourselves, we can be surprisingly harsh, quick to criticize, and slow to forgive. How many times have you beaten yourself up for making a mistake, thinking you should have done better? Yet, the truth is, self-compassion isn't about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding you would readily offer a close friend. Think about this. If a friend came to you, feeling defeated after failing at something, would you tear them down, or would you lift them up with words of encouragement, reminding them that failure is part of learning? Now, ask yourself, why don't you do the same for yourself? Self-compassion means recognizing your own struggles, being gentle with yourself, and understanding that it's okay to be imperfect, because imperfection is part of being human. Let me share a story. There was a young professional named Alex who was trying to balance a demanding career while pursuing a personal passion for painting. One day, Alex submitted a piece of art to a local competition only to be rejected. Instead of seeing it as a stepping stone, Alex spiraled into self-criticism, thinking, "I'll never be good enough." But then, a mentor reminded Alex to treat themselves like they would a friend. Alex began reframing their thoughts, saying, This is part of the process. Every artist faces rejection. It doesn't define me. By practicing self-compassion, Alex not only found the courage to keep creating, but also discovered a deeper sense of peace and resilience. So, how can you bring more self-compassion into your own life? Start by changing the way you talk to yourself. When negative self-talk creeps in, replace it with words that are kind and constructive. Instead of saying, "I can't believe I messed that up," try saying, "I'm learning, and mistakes are part of that process." Next, remind yourself that you're not alone in your struggles. Everyone faces setbacks and challenges. It's part of being human. Finally, take care of yourself. Self-compassion also means prioritizing self-care, whether that's taking a break, doing something you love, or reaching out to a trusted friend or loved one for support. Remember, self-compassion doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. When you treat yourself with kindness, you build resilience and create a healthier relationship with yourself, which helps you navigate life's ups and downs with more grace. Can you start treating yourself with the same care you offer to others? The next time you're hard on yourself, pause and ask, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Self-compassion is not just an act of kindness, it's a powerful tool for growth, healing, and becoming your best self. You deserve the same love and understanding you so freely give to others. Thank you for watching this video on Free Your Mind. These 10 things will help you let go of mental burdens. Remember, letting go of mental clutter isn't just about freeing your thoughts, it's about creating space for peace, clarity, and growth in your life. Start small, take one step at a time, and embrace the journey towards a lighter mind and a freer self. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Echoes US. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos filled with wisdom and inspiration to help you live a more meaningful life. See you in the next one.